So, this is another example of how the Liberals in Canada are essentially the same as the Liberals in California, right? Um, the Liberal government wants to limit the cases where Canadians are prosecuted for not revealing their HIV positive when they have like a minimal risk of contracting it to the person. So they can still give it to the person, but there's just a minimal risk. So now, let's just say they have that minimal risk and they do happen to give it. They don't want to prosecute those people because they're like, oh, if they were using a condom, they were doing all this, they were taking all the precautions, etc. With all the advancements in science and medicine, they shouldn't have to tell their partner. Where it's like, are you insane? So even in cases where people actually get it contracted, as long as the person that they're with was taking some precautions, etc., they're not gonna get like fucked over. Are you kidding me? And what is their excuse? Every time, whenever they propose stupid bills like this, statistics show people from marginalized backgrounds, including indigenous, gay, and black persons, are more likely than others to be living with HIV in Canada. Fear of stigma and prosecution can deter people from getting tests and treatment, etc., blah, blah, blah. But, they bring up minority groups, etc., that it disproportionately affects them, so we gotta do it for them. But I'm sure people in minority groups don't want to get AIDS as well, right? Even if there's only been a couple hundred prosecutions on this. So, like, really, how many people? Like, come on, we need to put people away who do this, even if it is a small chance, right? Like, that's bullshit. And don't you think, like, if the person wants to get married with that person and want to have kids, they want to know if their partner has fucking HIV, right? Like, come on, this is ridiculous. Let's not turn out. Let's not become California. And one of the guys, Gary Lacasse, an executive director of the Canadian AIDS Society, said, the risk factor is shared responsibility between two people engaging in sexual activity, right? Existing provisions in criminal code can capture those extremely limited cases where individuals deliberately tries to pass on HIV. But he said the bulk of the cases where there is no intent should never be criminalized, right? So if you have no intent, you know you have AIDS, and you take some precautions and you give it to somebody, then you should be prosecuted? No, fuck you. You should be prosecuted. Like, really, like, do they really have to pander to people who have AIDS? Like, how many votes is that? Like, what kind of issues is this to focus on? They're going to, like, ignore the questions from the conservatives about legitimate questions about ISIS and relocating to Canada and all this shit and the potential, and they're like, oh, this is Islamophobia, etc. But they focus on making sure people with AIDS aren't stigmatized. They're like 30 people in Canada with fucking AIDS. Really? And you're not worried about the potential of hundreds of people maybe dying in a fucking terrorist attack? Because let me tell you this, if there is one terrorist attack in Canada and is perpetrated by these people from ISIS, right, that they want to relocate in our country, it is their fault as well. Like, the blood should kind of be on, not saying all people who identify as liberals, but the politicians, right? Those politicians, it's on their hands. So the blood is on their hands, as well as the terrorists and the ideology. But they knew the risk, and they're gonna say, they're just gonna come out and call you names, etc., to, like, brush it off. But yeah, they're focusing on stupid bullshit like this, and it's like, come on, man, we need to put people away who do this, even if it's by accident, because you should let people know if you have a disease like HIV. That is very, even with all the medical advancements, whatnot, Nobody wants to have AIDS. It's not like having syphilis or something like that. It's not like one of these things that, yes, we should take away some of the stigma and shit, but come on, let's use our fucking brains here and not put people at fucking risk and jeopardy, right? Like, because if they don't specifically write shit down, like, oh, I want to fucking give these people AIDS and shit, they don't type it down and shit, then how do you know? Right? How do you know? They could just say they didn't know and they're lying. They could say they took precautions. So the best bet to do is to criminalize it to begin with, right? At all. If it's accidental, if it's on purpose, like, man, let people know if you have that shit, right? Let them fucking know. I'm sorry that you have it and shit, but like, you gotta let people know. And I'm sorry if it disproportionately affects minority groups, but that's not going to change my opinion whatsoever. And that shouldn't change the opinions of minority groups, because they're the ones who are going to be affected by this HIV. The fucking Aboriginal groups, the black people, the black gay people in fucking Canada, they're the ones that are going to be getting it, not me. Like, so good. Like, all the gay people that are, or whatever, people that are happy about this, like, you'll see it's probably gonna backfire on you. So just I hope that the majority of you are against this, because it's not good for you. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See you.